excited for this time around.
Right.
Our next guest, somebody yang balik-balik
Well-known.
viral. Selalu kena panggil for major big events or big topics. Like if you
Yes,
want to look
yes.
for a good sister to talk to, she's the one to run to.
She's a tea.
Very passionate about mental health as well.
Yay.
Are you ready?
Are you
Let's say
ready?
it together. Welcoming our next guest on Berambang, ladies and gentlemen, Tiwin Aji.
Hello.
How did you like the introduction? How did you like the introduction?
That was great. I was like, wow. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Very, very kind.
I
I swear
to
to
tell
tell
the
the truth.
Nothing
The
but
whole
the
truth.
truth.
Nothing but the truth.
And
But the real
the
truth.
real truth.
But the real truth. As far as I can remember.
I remember.
yes.
The truth as I remember.
So guys, today's episode of Berambang is brought to you by AT Brunei.
Our official
collaborating
collaborating partner.
partner.
Once again, let's say it together. 8T Brunei.
Brunei.
Thank you, 8T Brunei.
Thank you, AT Brunei. I ordered
What did you order?
Teh Babu's cheese.
And I
What
ordered
about you? Comment it.
chocolate Vico. And what about our special guest?
Tiwin.
Tiwin, what did you order?
It was so hard for me to choose. There's so many things that I wanted to
so many
try.
very good choices, right?
But I decided to go with, I'm a lychee girl. I love a lychee drink. Taiwan lychee peach, I believe.
Okay,
That's my
okay.
order, yes.
All right, so let's drink dulu, Ana Tiwin.
Okay.
Let's drink. This is yours. How is it? Is it nice?
Naman.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, because I love peaches as well, so it has a bit of both. Lovely. Nah, kan keluar tak? Yaudah lah.
How are you?
Welcome. I'm good, thank you. I'm great, except for my eyelash is stabbing me in the eye slightly, and I can't fix it. So we're just gonna go along with it.
Yes.
As long as you're comfortable, okay?
Yeah, everything but my left eye.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Let's get right into it.
Okay, yeah.
We want to get to know about Tiwin Aji.
Yes.
Right? So, tell us, who is Tiwin Aji?
Wow, that's a big question.
Right?
I guess the quickest way I can sort of describe sort of who I am is that Tiwin is not even actually like my official government name.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a name that I apparently gave myself when I was 2 years old. I said to everybody, like, I want everyone to call me Tiwin.
2 years old.
Yeah, apparently. This is the lore. And I think just me being a 2-year-old deciding for myself what name I wanted for myself, I think that just really is a great way to tell people like who I am, and that I've always been very clear on that, and I've always chosen the path of being who I am, even when it doesn't necessarily make sense to anybody else.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, that's Tiwin.
Artinya nama tu Tiwin is there meaning behind it? It's just, Tiwin.
I've given meaning in that, like, you know, to win,
Okay.
because most people call me Win as well. So it's also just a really good name, I think, as like nama tu
Yes.
doa kan.
Oh,
Win is a
yeah.
really
Yes,
a good name
yes,
for
yes,
that as
yes.
well. So I don't think I was conscious of that as a 2-year-old, but like later in life, I was like, hey, actually, yeah. Throughout my life, I've tried to find like a different name.
Okay.
But last pun macam, I always feel like Tiwin is just who I am. It's quirky. It's not like the prettiest name. It's a bit weird.
Yes.
But I think that, yeah, that's just who I am. A bit weird.
Okay.
I just want to get right into it, right? Where did you get all this latches English?
Oh, the legend is what I didn't. Well, I didn't grow up here for one thing. So I moved away when I was quite young, and I've always been in like international schools, and I also lived in the UK for about like 9 years. I was there from when I was 13 until I was
13. Okay.
until I was 22, I
Oh.
think. So because I've been in a lot of like a very Western centric kind of world, so naturally like you learn how to speak like them.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So just to be honest, this particular English accent Aku late macam that happened later in life because we were just like main-main. Because me and suka main-main accent wala dulu.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
right now like TikTok is very much I'm like, oh yeah, trying on different accents. Girl, I've been doing this since like dari dulu sudah. And my siblings generally like we just love to put on accents. And so I feel like when Adele came about, like it just melakat from there. Like I think I was watching YouTube videos of her for like 3 days, and after that, which start talking like that, you know. So yeah, so I'm not really like in control of the accent either. Kadang-kadang, like I feel like the baseline accent is like this, which is more of just I don't know, maybe a slightly I wouldn't even say it's American, more like an international school kid kind of accent.
Yeah.
But then once in a while, like the British, like she pops in, and then there's a laugh, like I'll when I'm doing my whitewash auntie, and then it becomes a little bit more posh,
Okay. So 9 years in the UK.
Yeah, I was in London.
So if you don't mind to share, the reason you've the moving itu kenapa, Tiwin?
Oh, just my father, they were doing their masters, and so yeah, and I was studying there, and then they left after 2 years, and I stayed on. So I was like 15 years old, living alone in London.
Because of your this accent that you did on TikTok, when you walk around, background macam, oh, Papus.
To be honest, no. I feel like people are maybe a bit more galat in real life. I mean, people are really nice and friendly, and they say they watch my TikTok, but no one's ever like asked me. Whereas every time I go on TikTok live, I think people are a bit more berani, behind the screen. So that's when they'll just like
Ask.
not
questions.
even ask. They'll just be like, "Oh, cow deals, woman," or like whitewash. And whatever the babus or masamanis. I did another TikTok that went really viral as well,
Kakao.
which was I was just talking about Watsons
Oh,
and the
yes,
Cow
yeah,
Deal
yeah,
song,
yeah.
which I just find like a really annoying song,
Okay.
to be honest. And
Sama.
and I just wanted to rant about it. Tapi macam menyusahkan diri lah, because after that everyone just kept associating me to the Cow songs. I kept hearing it more. So it kind of backfired. Yeah.
We did a bit of research, of course, prior to getting to know our guests, and we saw UtarakU. You wanna tell us a little bit more?
I would love
about
to tell you
that?
more about UtarakU.
Yes.
So I have because of certain trajectory of my life, I have looked into mental health actively for, I would say, probably in my 30s. I really kind of just like locked in and sort of went on this journey of, just trying to heal from life, essentially. And so for me, like, the process I thought was, it just really helped me, become a better person, better human being. And I got to experience like a really, like meaningful, joyful, kind of life, I felt like that kind of person, when you just discover something amazing and you just want everyone to like, hey, why don't you guys try this? It's really great. So I always wanted to do something like in support of mental health, right? Whatever that I do, I try to make sure the underlying, like, there's always some sort of like a mindfulness towards like mental health, like in everything that I do. And so so I went to New York, but I was doing my master's. Initially, I wanted to do my master's in counseling.
Wow.
Because my background is more media and communications. So they were just like, oh, we want you to stick to media. Like, that's probably a better, better for you to get in. Like, because I have no background in mental health aside from just like life experience, But then I did end up, I just side quest kajap becoming like a coach. I did get sort of like, not saying counseling and coaching is the same thing, but in terms of like providing care for someone in that kind of way, I did about a year, almost 2 years in that role. But anyway, so I did my master's, and then when I finished my master's and I came back to Brunei, I was very set on not going back to a corporate workplace or corporate surrounding.
Oh, why?
Because I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like it. I don't like a lot of the culture around in these corporate workplaces. I've worked in a lot of different places in Brunei, you know, and I would say it's consistently the same all around. And the underlying thing is that people, I feel like, don't really know how to work together. And someone like me who tends to be like outspoken and like me, I will bercakap, you know, if there's something that I think is not in a way that's even necessarily like aggressive. Like over the years, I've had to learn how to like, you know, because as bini-bini lah kita, you know, if you're bini-bini and you're outspoken, like immediately people see you just like, oh, she's aggressive or she's whatever, right? So I've had to learn how to, you know, just manage it so that it doesn't seem like so threatening. And even that, like, it's still seen as threatening just because when you try to tell the truth in a space where people don't want to hear the truth, like you become a problem. And so for me, like, I think in all my time in corporate Ato, it just made me realize I don't think, in a lot of these spaces, I don't think people are actually trying to make things better. I think people are trying to make things better for themselves, but not better for like everything. And so that's why I was like, no, no thanks. So yeah, I wanted to do something mental health related, and that's why panjang ceritanya kan. Now only I'm getting to UtarakU.
Sorry. Was there anything specific that had happened to you? You came to a realization saying that I wanna provide care for mental health.
Yeah.
It wasn't one thing. It was just a number of things over a lifetime. It's things that people tend to like dismiss as unnecessary because like we've never had it, and there's just like, oh, napaya, you know, we've gotten by without it. But I think there's a reason why so many people are walking around angry, like just repressed in so many ways, and it's because they've never had like a safe space to work through their stuff. You know, there's a lot of heavy stuff that people are dealing with, like, whether that's like family dynamics. It always starts from family dynamics, like, let's be real. It always starts from that, and that then carries into the kinds of relationships that you then choose in your life. You know, whatever you're unhealed from, you will continue chasing that kind of toxic pattern because of familiarity. So yeah, so UtarakU, the initially the idea was I wanted to create something that allows greater accessibility for people to get care, because for people to want to get counseling, like mahal, right? UtarakU is not therapy, like it's not counseling according to like the sort of Western model of clinical therapy, right? But sometimes our life problems have to, like, you don't really need a therapist for that. Sometimes you just need someone who has like
a trusted friend.
Yeah. Just like a peer-based thing where, you know, I wanted to create like a group environment where people can just come in and talk.
Yeah.
Right?
But amongst the your clients, right? Generally, what is our problem? What's our state of mental health?
I think people like internalize a lot of shame about things that are sometimes not necessarily individual failing, but like or systemic or like structural, you know. Number one is it's that lack of self knowledge, self understanding is one thing, right? We're not taking the time to like sit with our feelings and understand ourselves. Like, why do we react the way that we react? You know, what are our belief systems? Like, what are the things that trigger us, and why does it trigger us in such a way? Like, there's a real lack of
self-awareness,
of curiosity and exploring what that is, because the immediate go-to, I think, is shame. When people feel like, oh, okay, I feel some type of way, let me bury this feeling instead, because I shouldn't be feeling like this and I should be embarrassed about it. And so I just pushing the feelings away, the feelings away. And now we're in an era where it's so easy to distract from having to sit with your feelings. You can just go on your phone and not have to think about anything. Yeah. Right? So number one, there is a, you know, a lack of desire or a lack of curiosity to try and understand oneself better. And at the same time, there's also a lack of skill in communicating what you need as well. Because in order for us to have better relationships with one another, like it really starts from, like you have to know yourself enough. Another thing as well is I think we're a very conflict averse society as well. Like when there's conflict, the reaction is always to just avoid it. Wah. Tapi sebenarnya like conflict is normal. If there's anything that I want to like champion as a cause, is I really want people to understand that conflict is normal, and it's not something yang we have to be takut of, because we're all human beings that have lived very different lives and have very different experiences. So of course we're not all gonna be on the same page. Tapi so we have to get past that fear of like klai misunderstanding, and because we've been the way that we I guess raised macam dari damit apahan, kalau dah berkelahi artinya seorang jahat seorang baik. You know,
ada menang ada kalah.
Yes, that kind
mindset.
of thinking of there has to be one person who is like in the right, and basically as opposed to it being like, hey, instead of it being conflict being this adversary thing where it's me against you, it's like, hey, we're in the same boat actually, and we want to go the same direction, right? So how do we understand what route is best together, daripada it being like inda, I want to go this way on the boat and you just have to like follow me. There are some people that just want it their way. They don't really want to collaborate. They don't want to compromise on anything. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot to unpack if you wanted me to get into like what is really the issue.
Free UtarakU sessions. Thank you, Tiwin.
You're welcome. Me and my friend Shini, at the time, we started doing something called Girl Dinner. So we did that, and that was fun. Like, I'm just bringing women together, creating. It started with Galentine's, I think. So like single women during 14th February, and just having and that one was a really great one because it was like different generations. Someone from their 60s, from their 50s, from their 40s. So it was a good mix. And so anytime like these UtarakU gatherings happen and people like do come, it's always very, very meaningful, right? Like the takeaway always from people who come is like they, it was really great and like helpful for them. But it's also really intense, right? And you have to build a kind of fitness, an emotional fitness, to be able to just have these kinds of conversations and not have it be like so draining, because the work of confronting your own demons or your own wounds and all of these things, like it's not light work, it's hard, but it gets easier. This thing I try to tell people, like, it gets easier over time, but you have to like exercise to, it'll go easier, but awal tu payah lah,
To those of you out there who would like to know more about UtarakU, yang ada group sessions, ada one-to-one sessions, boleh
follow. So I try to make it fun as well, you know what I mean? Macam it's not just serious all the time. Macam like, dia deal with me, ada saja Johan bercahaya tu Johan.
Baru berapa minit we're talking to you, we're feeling like, oh my god, she's our girl. I have one question, right? Like UtarakU, you hear people's problem, and then you look into it, you try to find ways to make things better, because like you mentioned, it will get better. For example, macam conflict tu kan, you mentioned with conflict, it's not about who wins or lose. It's about getting into the same boat together, eventually getting to the same goal, right? So now, what about Tiwin Aji? Who takes care of your mental health?
Oh, I have a really great support system, So I have family and friends that, alhamdulillah, like I think that part is I'm very grateful for that, because and I think I also am like a good support system for my friends and family, So I think that it's that part is pretty solid, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Like,
You're so lucky.
I am very lucky.
Not everybody has that strong support system. Yeah.
But I think there's also, some of my clients are people that don't have that family support. Right? Sometimes the family is the source of the mental health problems too.
Yes. So what's the answer to that? To those yang nada family support yang strong?
There is never a blanket answer, Like every situation will call for a different take, right? So for me, I really try to like avoid making sort of like, again, blanket statements on like, okay, if this is the case, then you have to do this and you do that. There's so much detail and nuance and context you have to take into consideration, right? But yeah, I mean, for people that don't have that, I mean, I hope that they're able to have friends, that can support them. The safe rule is always go into that conversation with curiosity rather than judgment. Like if you want to get people to open up, like you can be curious, tapi you have to manage judgmental. That's what makes people shut down so fast.
Yes.
And I think that we are generally quite judgmental.
Yeah.
Quite judgmental society. And so these are things that I think for the purpose of bettering our collective mental health juga, like, we need to be better at that. And I understand macam all the concerns like, aib, jangan tunjuk aib. What is that though?
Jangan show aib, jangan lihatkan aib ka.
Jangan
jaga aib.
Jaga, yeah. And this is where that conversation pasal aib itu can really get a bit muddy. I understand the sentiment macam, okay, tapi kadang-kadang yang aib yang akan ditutup ni is like some really bad stuff that should not be allowed. So it's that macam
understand.
You can't place the fear of shame over like abusive behavior, for example. Things like that. Tapi and so that's where you I can end up meeting clients who do have a lot of like mental health stuff because the priority itu is aib daripada menjaga the well-being of someone who is being harmed in the family, for example.
If you could recall, what is the saddest aib that you could remember yang you think is actually this is the problem?
I mean, there's some really, really dark stuff out there.
Dark.
I mean,
the word is dark?
Dark. Yeah, very, very dark stuff that people will still choose to cover up because namo bagi malu.
And aib, right?
The idea of like,
I never thought of this. It's we're growing up. Tadi kan na macam ala jaga aib orang.
I think betul. The society punya tu inject that kind of mindset. So tadi tu macam payah kan. You get what I mean?
But it's actually the aib that you need to work on, right?
What are you covering? Ati saja. Macam it's one thing to be like, okay, don't be airing people. Apa ni orang putih, don't air people's dirty laundry apa jualan. And it depends what that is, Macam kalau sekiranya benda yang benar-benar just between two people ka apa, maybe they're going through problems in their marriage ka apa. That's nobody's business. But when it comes to like levels of where there's abuse and real harm, things like that, macam you gotta get help for that.
We want to talk about body shaming.
Okay, yeah.
You're
sure.
okay with that? Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, this is my perception. How I look at body shaming. I'm skinny. I know I'm fabulous and skinny, right? But for me, this is also body shaming. Sometimes people would come to me and say, "Oh, Posh, makin kurus ka wa." For me, I've worked so hard to eat a lot, and my friends know this. I eat a lot, and then I already feel like, I've gained 2 kg or 3 kg. And for somebody out there to tell me, "Makin kurus siya ka wa," in front of everyone. It does hurt my feelings. What's your thought?
So when we talk about body shaming, right, you have to look at, okay, what is the harm caused to the individual, but also is there a societal level of like, but there's you getting your feelings hurt versus like the level of body shaming where you are actively being denied respect, care, all sorts of things, right? So I always hear that debate about like, skinny shaming is also a form of body shaming. Like,
that's what they call it, skinny shaming.
Some people have called it right.
Yeah.
So I can understand how for you individually, like that can hurt your feelings, right? And yes, like that is body shaming, but you can't on any way say that as anywhere near the same level as fat people that get body shamed. It's not the same thing because the fat shaming is on a deep societal level. You know what I mean? Like generally, we're living in an Ozempic era where to be skinny is to be desirable. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whereas if you're a fat person, you're automatically seen as as ugly, undesirable, lazy, all sorts of things, right? So many assumptions, negative assumptions that are connected to you just being a fat person. That doesn't get attached to you being a skinny person. So that's where it's not the same thing. You can't compare skinny shaming and fat shaming as the same thing.
But the feelings are valid, right?
Your feelings are valid,
Okay.
But you're to put your feeling like in the midst of a fat person talking about getting body shamed, and then to say like, oh, I also get skinny shamed. It's not like
different level.
Read the room, yeah. It's like don't try and make it as if it's the same thing, because it's not. Like, I think so for me, like my weight is definitely alhamdulillah lah, like I feel like maybe because I kind of just like I own it, like I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about my size, and so if people want to call me fat, when I'm like, okay, Anne, like it's not, if people want to use that as a way to hurt me, I'm like, you're not. So it just like loses its power. Honestly, I don't feel like I owe anybody my story of like my what my body has been through, right? And I don't need to explain that to anyone so that you can humanize me and see me and be like, oh, okay, let me just be understanding about her being this weight. I don't need to tell you my emotional journey, right? But at the end of the day, like, yeah, why can't you just accept that people are just built differently? So many assumptions people make about my health, but just because I'm this size, please, like, you don't. Firstly, whether I'm healthy or not is really none of your business. But also the assumption that that any fat person is automatically unhealthy is also really, really wrong. Like, there's so much that people don't understand about like the weight loss industry and how much money there is to be made out of getting people to be obsessed with being thin, and there's so many layers to this, like, because it all goes back to like, at the roots of it is like there's, it's racism, it's pedophilia, like there's all these things that are connected to this industry of trying to get women in particular to be thin. Like, and I've unlearned all of that. So I have if anyone thinks that calling me fat is somehow supposed to be derogatory, I'm sorry, that's just showing like what level of like brain activity you're at. And we are not the same. So no, I'm not going to feel bad about that.
I love the way you think, clocking it.
So Tiwin.
Yeah.
So while we're still on this topic of body shaming, so as you can see and aware, I am also a fabulous, voluptuous. So I think you and me are almost the same. Fun fact, there are closest of my friend, they call me Po, for short form for Lampo.
Okay.
And I'm not mad. I'm sure you, experience a lot in this. So what advice could you give me, like macam to stick?
Yeah, again, it goes back to like how people say it, right? Because sometimes when people just talk macam like, yang atu, yang lampu atu, whatever, macam like, I try not to take it personally because like I understand again the way that society has normalized hating fat people, looking down on fat people. It's so normalized that I don't take it personally because it's like, okay, I know that this is just the level where they're at, where they're operating. There's no need for you to also like accommodate it, right? You don't have to be okay with it if you're not okay with it, right? Like, I think sometimes there are people that will berani. It hasn't happened in a long time, and I hope because people know their place. But like, there have been in the past, right, where I've had like friends. I remember this one time I was just sitting with a friend, and another friend came and joined, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And he sits down, he says like, when bila to kan kurusan niya. And I was like, kusong ka utak mo ato. That's the only thing you can say. I haven't seen you in ages. Like, can we have a little bit more intelligent conversation? Macam ato siya kan ko cakap kan ka pasal badan. Like, I'm so sorry that your topic of conversation is so limited, but I'm not entertaining this, So for me, people can say what they want, but you don't get access lah kalau kawan bola macam tu, It's that. Like, you don't need to tell orang lampo, kami ni lampo. We know. Like, we kami ada ceramin. Like, there's no need, right? But yeah, like I feel so bad generally for, yeah, I guess all the anyone who's just like struggling with their body.
We love this energy in you. It's giving so much self-love. If you have to share probably one tip to just both of us or maybe to all our audience out there about loving yourself, what would it be? Because we love this energy.
Guys.
Makes me want to love myself more.
Good, good, yeah. I think when people hear things like, oh, love yourself, it's always very, it's like this abstract concept. Macam apahan artinya to love yourself? Everybody thinks they love themselves, yeah. But the real question is like, do you though? How much do you love yourself? Like, what are all the things about yourself that you actually like are really ashamed of, that you're really that you really want to change? Like, I've had to really, in my life, really go through a lot of, because I've really lived quite an unconventional life, and I choose difficult things, but I choose it because that's my path. You know what I mean? But like, I choose the harder path, and even though it's hard, like alhamdulillah, like I'm grateful for it because it really just allows me to access so much more of like who I am. Everyone has this idea of like who they are, but like, who are you when you are not any of that? Like, who are you when the things that you do like about yourself, let's say you don't have it anymore, how do you still have love for yourself then? Right? I think the way that our world is designed makes it seem as if like you are only lovable, that you are only worthy if you can produce something, if you have value in some, like mesti ada productivity output ka apa, like but we are worthy just from being born. Like, we're here, we're on this earth, Allah put us here, and that goal is really like, it's unlearning a lot of the way that society has brainwashed us to not love ourselves, sebenarnya. I don't think we live in a society that teaches us to love ourselves. If anything, it teaches us to constantly like criticize and try to fix things, try to change things, and yeah, so the real like work atua is like it's a practice. You can't just say like, oh, I love myself. That's an entry that's entry level to just be able to say I love myself. Like, no, you have to examine again the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and be able to come out of that and be like, you know what, I accept her, I love her, I'm doing better, like I'm working on myself. It's a journey, and it's a practice, and it's like the fundamental part is like, you have to treat yourself kindly through everything that you go through, because I don't think people are very kind to themselves either. That's why people are so judgmental. I feel like people are so judgmental is because they're so judgy towards themselves. I'm like this because like, yeah, I am just really not judgmental, because I'm like, what's the point of being judgmental? You never know the scope of hidup orang ni ba. At any point, you're only ever seeing a small window into someone's life, and you don't know what is the thing that puts them onto like a better path, or even the things that you think, oh, orang ni steady couple, but behind the scenes you don't know. And so what's the point? And so work on releasing that self-judgment dulu. It's that, what are all the things that you think, oh, I need to be more like this, I need to be more like that. How do you just accept yourself as who you are right now? I'm not saying like macam, if you're macam like, if you have, obviously everyone has parts of their personality that are like, okay, I can do better, right? Kalau aku pemarah, I can, of course you have to still work on yourself. When I say like, you just have to accept yourself like as is, bukannya artinya don't work on yourself jua. We all have to be working to become better people for each other, Johan. But the main thing is like, how do you still maintain like kindness towards yourself even when you don't like yourself that much, right? Because I think we can really be very mean to ourselves, and then that's why we end up being mean to other people.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I'd like to share, one of your client is a good friend of mine at work. So, good reviews.
Oh, really? A client?
Yeah. She joined one of your one-on-one session. But she didn't say
Oh,
much,
okay,
of course.
okay.
You know, don't judge
Okay,
how
okay,
sahib.
okay.
So,
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I was like,
I'm like, siapa
it
tu?
was like this. Katanya,
Okay.
Posh, I saw your Berambang. You know who should you bring? Yung siapa? Tiwin Aji. Gatal hati ko, babe. I'm like, she's actually one of our girls. You know niya aku as one of your punya client. But very good reviews about you. But she didn't
Okay.
tell me how the session went or
Okay,
where,
okay,
di mana bila.
okay.
So yeah, you got good reviews.
Oh, okay. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. Thank goodness.
Alhamdulillah. I think you were coming to the end, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about what's upcoming, you mentioned.
I would like to do a
Yes,
little bit
let's
of
go.
promotion.
Yes.
So, I don't know whether you know, but I have a mini documentary series that premiered in January. So it's a 3-part, and the first part premiered in January, and it's a series on heartbreak stories in Brunei. So again, part of what, as I said, I like to bring mental health into like everything
Yes.
that I do, and I wanted to talk about breakups because I feel like people tend to see, breakups as such a life-ending kind of thing. Whereas for me, like I went through a breakup and it was such a transformative, like I went through a breakup that just took me to like another level, in terms of like I mean, it was the worst breakup I've ever been through. This was like in 2017, but I came out of it like just lighter, and having experienced that, I really want people to know like, hey, you can come out of a breakup and be even better, right? Like, and I wanted to give that kind of hope, because I'm also aware of how there are a lot of people that go through breakups and just never talk to anybody about it. Di Brunei ni. And so, yeah, I wanted to tell stories of, different kinds of like breakups in Brunei. And that's kind of how it started. So it's meant to be like a companion guide for people who are going through heartbreak. So the first episode is denial, because that's usually how it starts. You're in denial first, right? So mengakui that the relationship is over. And the second part, which will be premiering on the 8th of August.
Yay!
And that's the emotional part. So that's anger/depression.
Where? Premiering where?
I have not locked in the location
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
I
Just
do
set
have
your
some,
lock your date.
tapi di
Berapa bulan
bandar
dia?
pulang tu.
Berapa bulan?
8th
8th
August.
of August, guys.
Yeah, it's a cute number, 808.
Yeah.
Because the premiere in January pun was cute. It was 111. It was 11th January. So I'm
Okay.
like, can we want to keep the theme of the cute numbers? So yeah, and the second one actually. So each episode, I talk to a different person about their breakup story, and I also share like my own. So yeah, this second story I enjoy because it's lelaki wah bercerita. Usually bila bini hanya mau cerita ni, ani lelaki wah.
Feeling tu kan? Makin kuat feeling tu
I mean, it's just interesting to hear the perspective lah. Ha.
from a guy.
Yeah. So it's,
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah.
it's juicy, guys.
But for more info, it will be available on.
So there is an Instagram page for, I believe, cuba kamu cari broken chips. I don't remember the handle. I think it's broken.chips.
Okay.
Yeah, but also like just on my main page, I will promote
You
it.
will
on Tiwin
post it.
Aji.
Yeah,
I will
yeah. Okay,
promote it as
okay,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. We're very excited.
Yes.
Okay, maybe one last question. I do have one last question.
Yes.
Yeah, for Tiwin. If you have to say one thing to this one person who believe that he has the weight of a world on his shoulder, or she is alone, nobody to run to, what would you say to this one person?
Get help. Like ask for help.
Yeah,
you know,
speak up, speak up.
like don't suffer alone.
Or as simple as go to UtarakU.
Yeah,
Join us at
awa.
GM.
Yeah,
Right.
book a session with me.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. I think we're to the end now.
Okay.
So thank you very much. I wish that didn't end because I loved, seeing you right now talking to them. Wow.
God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
so
you
much
for
Thank
inviting
you so
me.
much, Tiwin.
It's really fun having a little
Honestly,
chat.
when we talk about when me and Posh not decide to do Berambang, when we talk about guests,
Right away, your name.
Right away, you are the you are the top of the list.
I'm
I was like,
very
I
honored.
need to get
Sorry to
Tiwin.
the other guests. I'm very honored.
What made you say yes? We just want to know.
Why? I love a chat. What do you mean? Any excuse to yet? What are you talking about?
All right, I think we are at the end. Thank you very much once again,
Okay.
Tiwin, and Alhamdulillah.
you.
So yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yes, this is what good episode.
I feel so energized right now. I just
Yes.
want to love myself, okay? And are you gonna love yourself after this?
Love.
Yes.
I am going to take my eyelashes off.
And yeah, guys, stay tuned. We are very excited to have more guests after this and to know more about what's coming up. Jangan lupa follow,
Chat, chat, chat.
chot, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, especially. All full episodes will be published or premiere at our YouTube channel only, but
Yes.
teasers, of course, will be available across all our social media. Once again, thank you very much to AT Bernai. Say thank you.
Thank you for the yummy
Thank you very much, AT Bernai. And yeah, see you
Yay.
next time. Stay tuned. Berambang. Bye.